Hi, I'm Sim, and welcome to I'm Stressed AF Toolboxes from www.imstressedaf.com, a stress management resource website. Thanks for joining today. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share the video titled Post-Traumatic Disorders and Stress. Let's begin talking about the words for PTSD, the acronym, which is also known as post-traumatic stress disorder. Many people are traumatic events that occurred to them in the past. Some who need help are experiencing it on a daily basis. The word post means following after, later than, or subsequent. The word trauma means something or someone, somewhere, feeling, or idea that is psychologically or emotionally stress-inducing, which causes severe emotional and mental health issues. It also means a sudden or severe life-threatening injury one experiences to their personal body in medical field terms. Stress. It means something that is a constraining force that can alter someone's psyche, mood, appearance, health, emotions, and more. Disorder. This means an abnormality in normal human mental and physical condition. Altogether, the post-traumatic stress disorder term used shell shock until 1980, when the American Psychiatric Association, or APA, finally added it to their Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It all began when military veterans were considered as being weak when they were showing signs of having an outside of the individual traumatic event response. These service members had gone through catastrophic stressors undiagnosed and ignored for years. Nowadays, PTSD can be diagnosed for events such as war, torture, essay, down to the Holocaust or bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. To say that anyone who has experienced horrific events are simply stressed, that is an understatement. I want to bring up a point to differentiate stress and stressors mixed with learned coping skills can be overcome ordinarily. This is not a trauma. However, it becomes traumatic when one is not equipped with coping mechanisms to handle abnormal stressors deemed as life-threatening or traumatic, where they don't have adaptive capacities for these occurrences, causing them to be overwhelmed, severely stressed, hypervigilant, anxious, depressed, or worse. People suffering from PTSD can sometimes do what is called unconscious hysteria, which is triggered by thoughts of their trauma. Sigmund Freud and Pierre Janet associated with this as dissociation and forgotten memories. I will go through this with you in a moment. There is a quote by a Canadian psychologist, author, and media commentator I found online. I like to have everyone leave comments. He says, the victim needs to stop thinking about themselves as nice and harmless, because it is the nice and harmless person that is exploitable by the malevolent psychopath, and that's not moral virtue. That's just weakness. That's all it is. It's naivete. It's the maintenance of a childlike viewpoint of the world that's past its expiry date. End quote. That is by Jordan Peterson from the year 2017. Please comment below your thoughts regarding this quote. Is it weakness to think of yourself as nice? Is it weakness to think of yourself as harmless? Is it childish and naive? What do you think about the psychopath he mentioned? Who's malevolent and exploits the nice and harmless person? Is his psychoanalytical idea relevant today, or is it outdated? Going back to unconscious hysteria via Freud and Janet. Firstly, hysteria is Greek for uterus. Greek philosophers Aristotle, Hippocrates, and Plato had some funny belief that a woman's uterus moved around throughout her body, causing her to experience excessive emotional behaviors. It must have been quite confusing during that time while they were trying to understand gynecology. Freud came along to correct those thoughts of what the real cause of hysteria was, putting those Greek guys' ideas to rest. It was caused by traumatic experiences from childhood that continued throughout adolescence and revealed itself in a severe manner in adulthood from emotional distress or duress. Anyway, unconscious hysteria is a Freudian contribution and it's a psychiatric condition that is compartmentalized by intense emotional moodiness, unwarranted extreme anxiety, sensory and motor disturbances in the body, unconscious simulation of organic disorder. This is what paved the way for the term psychosomatic illness. The mind can literally think of an illness and manifest it. Who says humans don't have superpowers? Manifestation is one of them. PTSD. What are the signs of PTSD? Recurrent memories that are unwanted but so intrusive to the point of causing revisiting the details of the traumatic event. Flashbacks of the traumatic event, meaning you can visualize it, see it happening, and when it is not. Terrifying nightmares about the event that caused such an upset for that person, it alters their mood and behaviors. Emotional distress and physical responses to anything or everything that reminds them of the traumatic event that took place. Avoidance, not speaking about things or not going to certain places, being around certain people, or trying to avoid emotions or ideas. Some PTSD symptoms mirror stress. This is why PTSD has to be diagnosed by a licensed medical professional, because it could be stress or it could be PTSD someone is experiencing. How would they know unless they talk to someone who has spent years immersed in the specialization of mental health and mental disorders? Some signs of stress that can look like PTSD in comparison with signs of PTSD are as follows. Stress versus PTSD. Negative thoughts like feeling overburdened or overwhelmed is stress. Negative thoughts about yourself and everyone else in the entire world is PTSD. Having racing thoughts, feelings about being anxious, nervous, or depressed is stress. PTSD, feeling detached from humanity, lack of interest in once enjoyed activities, and feeling emotionally vacant or emotionally numb. Some people could say that it is a part of depression or other mental health disorders, but for these examples, it is PTSD. Feeling irritable, angry, impatient, or wound up is stress. Being easily startled and frightened, being hyperactive, vigilant, or on high alert for everything or person around you is PTSD. A sense of dread, feeling lonely, neglected, or that your mental health problems that already exist could be getting worse is stress. Overwhelming guilt or shame, reenacting the traumatic event unintentionally at work, home, or elsewhere is PTSD. Here are some signs of intense stress. You cannot breathe, you feel as though you're having a panic attack, you're too tired to do anything, you feel dizzy, you're sweating, or even constipated or having the opposite. Here are some signs of intense PTSD. Unconscious hysteria, thoughts of self-harm triggered by memories of the traumatic event, thoughts of harming others onset by memories of the trauma, long-lasting trauma that has degraded someone's quality of life. No matter what complications they are facing or you could be facing with your mental health, reach out to someone sooner than later before the symptoms evolve into something worse, or to simply be assessed by a medical professional. If it is stress or something else, it is better to know than not to know. If you go and get tested for other things, it won't hurt to go in and get assessed for your mental health status. If you're having thoughts of self-harm, please reach out to someone who cares about you and loves you as soon as possible. Contact spiritual leaders or seek guidance from others that you can trust or someone that shares your faith. You can also contact the suicide hotline in the United States by calling 988. Yes, 988 has been designated as the new 3-digit dialing code that instantly routes callers to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Please call someone you can trust to guide you and help you get through this. We cannot get over things that are traumatic. We have to go through them by talking, sharing, finding groups who have been through what you have been through, going to school counselors, seeking therapists, journaling, anything and everything. We have to exhaust all avenues to stay alive. Please visit www.imstressedaf.com for stress management resources and stress relief products for self-care, or call 706-910-6988 7756 between the hours of 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Wednesday for more information. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. As always, say goodbye, stress. Have a peace-inducing worthy life. Stay alive. See you next time on I'm Stressed AF Toolboxes at YouTube.